Hello, 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 and welcome to the Eyes of Life show. I am your host, Yolo Schubert, and I bring to you today on our show why are middle aged Black men and minority men voting for Donald Trump? But before we go into our topic today, I want to just say I'm happy to hear that a lot of the people in the South receive their power. I want to, just tell you how happy and excited I am that y'all are all getting your lives somewhat back together, and that my prayers and my heart was with you while you guys went through the storm, which I believe was a hurricane. That was a huge storm. It endangered many lives, and then turn around and get hit with another storm down in Florida. So I was very actually excited to hear that I have a lot of family in that area, and my heart was just pitter pattering as I watched the news and I saw how the winds were blowing and the trees were just falling. So I want to definitely send prayers out to those families who may still be without power, and to let you know that we are sending prayers your way, and that we here at the Eyes of Life show um, are with you in our hearts and prayers. So today, I want to also apologize for our electronical issues we had on our last show. We didn't do our show last week because of technical difficulties, and we are somewhat still working out some of the kinks with the company. But let's dive into our show today. So, based on the poll taken by the NAACP, and for those that may not know what the NAACP it stands for the National Association for Advancement of Color People. So that's what the NAACP stand for. And based on a poll that was taken by them by a man named Waters, okay, based on that poll taken, 1 to 4 Black men, which equals out to be about maybe 25% of Black men in this country, are planning to vote for Donald Trump. Now, when I first saw this, I was like, it got to be impossible. There's no way that any minority or Black man in this country that knows what Donald Trump stands for is going to actually vote for Donald Trump. Well, let's just say that right there, polls are saying is true. That the men are definitely trying to vote. Now, my first thing was, are they getting any, you know, benefits? And if they are, what kind of benefits are they getting? And what are they? What was told to them? Uh, I'm just curious. What was told to them? What are they getting? What, or if did the GOP, you know, offer them anything? So, you know, basically looking, I was going through social media and I was looking at pro Black imposters. I was looking at different Black people saying different things on the social media websites. So one thing I noticed on the social media website was some of them look like they're imposters. Let me just say that. And I truly don't believe anything. Don't believe nothing that they were saying. Because one of the things they kept saying is, oh, for years, you know, we have said, Black men do not vote unless they're going to get something. So my thing is, what are they expecting to get? So you're saying we don't have the capability of saying we want to vote, and we want to vote for our rights and for our people, for what's best for our people. And for me, what's best for our people is to be treated like we are human beings and still not property. So let's take a look at and dive into, why I think, maybe what they think they're supposed to get. What are these benefits look like? Well, they are why, and this is what I, took a bit of notes and I jotted down, maybe what they think they're getting. So one of the things I thought was, why are they voting for him? Were they promised something? Some type of benefits for the Black race or any other race other than whites? From a white supremacist, what do you really think that you can get from him, or anyone that surrounds themselves around him, his political party, knowing what he stands for? What do you think you are going to get from him? Well, I don't think you're going to get anything from him, to be honest. What I do know, what you would get from a white supremacist, on what they're going to plan to do. They want to treat everyone equal. Or maybe the ones who plan on voting for Trump thinks the GOP is going to give them something. So if you don't know what the GOP is, let me just give you a little insight on what the GOP is. The GOP is called the Republican Party, aka Grand Old Party. So when I hear the word grand and old, the first thing it brings me to mind is that generational wealth that a lot of them come from. Those ones from back in the early 30s and 20s and the 1800s, who really didn't want us to have those rights that we have till this day. That's what I think about when I hear grand. So maybe they think, that GOP party is going to give them some type of benefits. So my instinct was, I paused and I said, do they really think that they're going to give them something? So let's just take a look at why they may think they're going to get something. Okay, these may be a few reasons on what they may think they're going to get and why they think Trump would be the better person to vote for. Now, some of them may be ignorant and don't really read, don't know about Project 2025. And some of them may be bigots because they don't think a woman should be in power. So I want to take a look at what they think they might get by voting for Trump. Jobs, lower unemployment. So these are things that they think that they're going to get: better housing, less discrimination. Now, we all should know that that is not going to happen. But hey, some people may not riff. And when I say riff, I mean reading is fundamental. So they may not read or they may not pay attention to what is actually going on and what are the things that Trump is actually saying because they're not really following and they're not reading. You'd be surprised how many people I come across and they have no idea about what Project 2025 is, or they've never ever heard of it. So that's what I think they believe they're going to get. And my thing is, my answer to that is a no, you're not going to get any of that. Let me tell you why I say no. When Donald Trump took office, this country had a good economy. He did not have to do anything. He did not, I mean, he didn't have to do anything. It was good. Jobs, unemployment rate, everything was good. He did not give us that. If, in fact, he inherited a good economy from President Obama. So Obama did say, don't mess it up. You know, when Obama left office, this country didn't have a large deficit. He even gave Trump the information to COVID to warn him about COVID. Let him know COVID is coming. But Trump ignored that. He didn't adhere to what Obama said. He didn't adhere to the information that he left. Instead, he downplayed it. And when he downplayed it is when the economy crumbled like it did. And American citizens lost their jobs because they were getting sick. They were so sick they couldn't return to work. Companies went out of business because of COVID. Not because of Biden, not because Obama didn't leave him the information, but because he ignored it. He didn't take it serious enough. He didn't think it was serious enough to the point he said, oh, COVID is just like catching a common cold, a real bad common cold, or the flu. And because of that, millions of United States citizens lost their lives. It was like people were afraid to even go to the hospital because it was like, do they have enough oxygen to give to these people who were going through the COVID process? They were going through that illness of having COVID. People were going in the hospital and actually dying from COVID versus staying home. So once again, it was downplayed. It wasn't handled properly by the Trump party. They didn't handle it well. So that's what Trump wants us to think. He did well by the American people doing that. Well, let's look at this. People, you cannot give Trump credit for having the lowest unemployment. Can't give him credit for that. You can't give him credit for having a good economy because he inherited that. He inherited that low unemployment rate. He inherited all of that. He didn't create that. He didn't give us that. No, he inherited. So that's wrong again if you're thinking that. He didn't even, it didn't even fall under his leadership. It didn't fall under his party. And in fact, for your records, The lowest unemployment rate actually fell under Biden and his administration in April of 2023. Okay? A lot of y'all think Trump also gave us stimulus checks. No, Trump didn't give us stimulus check. His party, that GOP, they didn't want to give us no checks. Those checks came from the Democrats. The Democrats is who gave us those checks. Pelosi, she pushed, and the Democratic Party pushed for us to have those checks, to help us out when we need it, to help pay our rent, our mortgage because of COVID. COVID just wasn't some fly-by-night flu. It wasn't some fly-by-night cold. It was an actual epidemic that was actually downplayed by the Trump Republican Party, by his people. And they allowed him to downgrade, not say, listen, you can't just ignore it. You can't downplay it. You just can't tell people shoot things in their veins and no. Look at the seriousness of it. Go in the trash and get that information that was left for you by Obama. That's how the economy began to fall. The GOP is not trying to give us anything. They don't even want us to have Medicaid. And there's a lot of disabled and senior citizens out there that are on Social Security that needs Medicaid. A lot of them need that Medicaid to help with maybe home health care, help with medical bills, to cover what Medicare won't cover. So it's a lot that GOP is fighting Democrats on, that they want to give. They don't worry about a bill. They have the money for the bills. It's the lower class and the poor people, or the lower middle class people and poor people who suffer here. But yet, the GOP is only for the rich, while we stay poor. So once again, what in the world could the minority and the Black man have been offered to make them think if they vote for Donald Trump, they're going to have a better life? Because you better remember some of the things that he said and that he has said on his campaign trail. You know, they talking about abortion. That right there is one of the most things I hear about them talking about abortions. What about the other things that's out there that they're trying to defund and not give any money to, that they're trying to get rid of, like the HBCUs, colleges, these universities? They're not trying to give them any funds. So what does that state? That means it will only leave Ivy League colleges, which the lower and the poor people can't even go and further their education because there will be no funding for them. So once again, I'm trying to figure out what you think you're going to get from putting him in office. A white supremacist? I've never known a white supremacist to give you anything but a lie, or maybe a hanging. That's the only thing I ever saw them get. So what can you do? Let these men know, let these women know what they are expected. You know, I kind of get heated when I'm in the car and I see a female with a sticker on the back of her car saying Trump 2024. Are you kidding me? Seriously, I don't care what race you are there, but a female, all the things this man has been accused of, he has zero respect for females. And the people that are following him and his party, they most likely don't have any either, because I can't see how they can be following and want to be part of anything that this man is doing. So what can we expect if those 25% of Black men or minority race vote for Trump? What can we expect as minority and Black in a Black race of people? Let's take a look at some of the things that Trump has actually said out of his mouth. Stop and frisk. Remember, he said we are criminals. Remember, he said that our race was criminals, and it was all the crimes were happening in Black communities. Nothing ever happens in a white community, like, nothing. So all the crimes are in Black communities. All these school shootings, all that is happening in a Black community. So once again, what make you think that Trump is going to help you? Once again, with that stop and frisk, you know what's going to happen? He's going to rewrite it into law. Also, remember, he said that in a Black church in Detroit. He's going to rewrite that stop and frisk into law. And what that's going to do, number two, that's going to increase Black and minority men in criminal records. So you watch the Black men, those minority men, and I mean, yes, those Mexicans or Hispanics, you all are lumped in there with us Black folks. Regardless whether you want to believe it or not, you're lumped in there. Okay, so you're going to see that increase. There's going to be an increasing rate in criminal records for that minority race and for the Black man, just as well as a Black woman, Hispanic woman, Mexican woman, a minority. There will be increases in that. And believe me, they will not be small misdemeanors. They're going to do something that's going to create a felony. It could be a lie. And don't tell me that the police don't lie. Not all the police are bad, but trust me, we will be going back to that 70s and 60 era where they didn't need a reason to stop you. They stop us now. But now they won't need a reason. They're just going to stop you. What are you doing? They're going to frisk you. They're going to throw you. They're going to police brutality. None of that will exist under this stop and frisk, because there will be no more police brutality. And all that, I'm licensed to carry. I'm licensed to carry. Before you can get that license to carry card out your pocket, you are already flat on the ground, because why? They done frisk you and they done felt the gun on you and you're dead. Point blank and simple. Without question. And if there's nobody around to videotape it, there's nobody coming to your defense, because you're not able to come to your defense anymore because you're dead. Bottom line. So remember, these are the things he says. I'm not making it up. I'm telling you the facts because you're the one that wants to vote for him. You're the one that's going to put your race, your mother, your father, your brother, your sister in jeopardy. So when you think about it, look at what is at stake here. By putting him in office, he's already said he's going to be a dictator. We're going to be under dictatorship. Come on now, people. If you know of anybody that's trying to vote for Trump that's in the minority race, please talk to them. Show them the facts. Project 2025 is not enough for you. I don't know what would be enough for you to see that this man and the people that he's trying to fall under, the party and the people that wrote this, everything he says is related to what they want to do and they are saying they want to do. So yes, there are going to be a lot of more felonies out there. And don't think for once that the courts are going to be on your side and, oh, I'm going to take it to the Supreme Court. Well, he already put people in the Supreme Court his last term in office. And them people are not for who? The minority race. They're not for the black man. They don't care about sending a black man to death. You just think about this. If a white man shoots you, he may go to jail and he may not. Even if he's wrong and found guilty, he won't get the death penalty, but you better not do it. With all the proof in the world, you're going to get life or you're going to get the death penalty, either by lethal ejection, but you're going to get it. So you think these are benefits that you want? You better think again. Now, they're going to incarcerate more. Because why? Now you're getting arrested. You're not getting no bail. Why they want to incarcerate you? Because they want to stop you from getting what they say you're taking their white man's jobs. Because we got knowledge, people, and they know it. They know we have the smarts in the brains. So while you were sitting in prison, now the unemployment rate's going to go up for the black families. So what's going to happen? He's getting rid of affirmative action. So we ain't going to have no more affirmative action. That's gone. Homelessness. All these things are going to play out. Because why? You're going to be in jail. You can't pay your rent. And they dare you to get out there and try to sell drugs. So they're going to lock you up for that. So let's look at being smart. There's a lot of homelessness in this country. It's going to be a whole lot more. He doesn't care about the Fair Housing Act. Donald Trump doesn't care at all. That's why he was sued. Yes, Donald Trump was sued under the Fair Housing Act. In fact, Hillary Clinton raised a 1973 federal lawsuit against Donald Trump and his company for alleged racial discrimination at one of Donald Trump's housing units. So once again, he does not care. And trust me, it wasn't just Donald Trump's father got sued into this. Once again, white supremacy. They don't care. The federal government sued Trump and his father because of discrimination in housing. So what make you think you would want to get that? They both swore they would never do it again. So I say to you listeners and everybody that's watching, and for those that are going to go back and watch the replay, you sit back and you say to yourself, how can you allow someone that you know that's going to go out there and they're going to vote for Donald Trump knowing what's at stake? And by no means, trust me, I'm not prejudiced. This is not about me being prejudiced. I am far from prejudiced. I love my white family members that I know of. And I say this all the time. This is not about being prejudiced. This is about what's right. And what is right is treating every man and woman and child equal under the law, as a human individual, on a job. They should be treated equally, not unequally. So I want to thank you for your time today and for watching the Eyes of Life show. Stay with us for next week's show. Next week, we're going to dive back into some things under Project 2025. And I, once again, hope you enjoy the show. And please share with your friends and let them know that you can get educated here. And if you would like to send an email to Yolo Schubert, please email me at the Eyes of Life show at gmail.com. If you would like to support the Eyes of Life show, please support us at Cash App, $, the Eyes of Life show. Once again, I thank you for your time. I thank you for watching. And everybody, I bid you a good night.